Growing emotionally with your child. Nurturing EQ from the early years. Hello, dear parents. Surely, every one of us wants our children to grow up not just smart, but also understanding, compassionate, and successful in life, right? A crucial factor determining that is emotional intelligence, also known as EQ. The good news is that EQ can absolutely be nurtured right from a child's very first years. So, how can we help our children develop EQ naturally and effectively? Before diving into specific suggestions, let's quickly go over the main points we'll be sharing in our chat today. First, we'll explore why the intense emotional expressions of young children, especially during the terrible 2s and 3s, are actually signs of emotional development. Second, we'll discover 5 practical ways parents can apply daily to accompany their child on the journey of nurturing EQ. And finally, something incredibly important, our own role as models in managing emotions. Alright, let's begin exploring together. When kids explode, understanding the emotional world of 2 and 3-year-olds. Many parents have surely experienced the phase playfully called the terrible 2s and 3s. Sometimes, your child might be playing happily one moment, then suddenly throw a full-blown tantrum. Or maybe bite, throw things, hit a friend, or become defiant and resistant. At times like these, we can't help but feel confused, even helpless, asking ourselves, "Oh my goodness, why is my child so difficult?" But dear parents, let's try looking at these behaviors from a different perspective. This is actually a period when your child is developing rapidly in every aspect, both cognitively and emotionally. The world around them and the feelings inside them are constantly changing, leaving them feeling overwhelmed. Your child is starting to grasp new concepts but also faces significant challenges. How to control intense anger when things don't go their way. How to express what they want when their language skills are still limited. How to cope with sadness or disappointment. During this golden stage, their language ability isn't yet sufficient to fully express the complex emotions bubbling inside. They easily feel lost, confused, and the simplest way they know how to express this is through those seemingly troublesome behaviors. That's why every interaction, every way you respond to your child's emotions during this period, has an incredibly powerful impact, laying the very first bricks for their future EQ foundation. 5 ways to help your child develop emotional intelligence every day. So, how can we best accompany our children on this emotional journey? Here are 5 suggestions you can start applying right away. Name emotions with your child. The first and foundational step is helping your child recognize and name their own emotions. When a child understands, this uncomfortable feeling is called anger, or this happy feeling is joy, they begin to gain better control over them. Parents, become your child's emotion interpreter. For instance, when you see your child sobbing because a friend snatched their toy, instead of scolding or ignoring them, get down to their eye level and gently say, "I see you're crying. Are you feeling angry and sad because your friend took the toy you were playing with?" This validates their feelings and shows them you're listening. Allow your child to feel the full spectrum of emotions next. An extremely important message to convey to your child is this: all emotions are acceptable. Even negative ones like sadness, anger, or fear. Many adults tend to discourage children from expressing negative emotions. Stop crying now. There's nothing to cry about. Big boys don't cry. Being angry is naughty. But suppressing emotions doesn't make them disappear. It just pushes them deeper inside, potentially causing bigger problems later in life, such as difficulty managing behavior, anxiety, depression, or even becoming a bully or being easily bullied. Let your child know, you have the right to feel angry, sad, or disappointed. Feelings aren't wrong. What's important is learning how to express those feelings in a way that doesn't hurt yourself or others. For example, if your child throws something in anger, say, "I understand you're very angry. It's okay to be angry. But you're not allowed to throw things that could break or be dangerous. If you need to let out your anger, you can go into your room and punch this pillow." Guide your child on how to handle negative emotions. When children experience negative emotions, they often feel confused about what to do. This confusion sometimes leads to impulsive behaviors like screaming, hitting, or biting. What your child needs in these moments isn't punishment or scolding, but specific guidance from you on healthy ways to release emotions. Brainstorm appropriate solutions together. For example, you could teach them that when they're angry, they can go to a private room and shout loudly, or punch a pillow hard, or scribble their feelings onto paper, or practice deep breathing to calm down, or simply sit and talk about everything they're thinking. Offer them multiple options so they can find what works best for them. Don't forget to acknowledge positive emotions, parents. Don't just focus on dealing with negative emotions. Acknowledging and responding to positive emotions is just as important. When your child is happy, proud, or excited, share that joy with them. For instance, when they successfully complete a difficult puzzle and look amazed and thrilled, enthusiastically clap and praise them. "Wow, you did it. You're amazing. I see you're feeling really happy and proud." Right? This helps them understand that sharing joy is an important part of life and allows them to feel encouraged and supported by loved ones. Be a role model. The power of imitation. And finally, perhaps the most crucial point, children learn primarily by observing and imitating their parents' behavior. We can't expect our children to calmly resolve problems if we frequently yell or scold when we're angry. We can't teach empathy if we ignore their feelings or the feelings of others. Therefore, if you want your child to have high EQ, you first need to practice self-awareness and manage your own emotions. If you handle your anger by walking away and taking deep breaths to calm down, your child will learn that method. If you show empathy when your child is sad, they will learn how to empathize with others. Closing remarks. Of course, the parenting journey isn't always rosy, and we aren't perfect superheroes. There will be times when we lose our cool, especially when our child is having a meltdown in the supermarket or throwing food everywhere. That's completely normal. What matters most is that we are aware of our own emotions in those moments. Try our best to control our reactions, and most importantly, model for our children how we face and handle emotions. As long as we keep making an effort and are conscious of our role as models, we are already on the right track in helping our children develop their emotional intelligence. Wishing all parents and children meaningful emotional journeys together.